And that's Heraclitus. The only constant thing is change. So if you're not changing as an artist or as an entrepreneur, if you're doing the same thing, yeah, you're fucked.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Words of Fang here at the Between the Waves Music Conference, btwmadison.com. Check it out. It's in June. It's in Madison, Wisconsin. And we've been sitting down, if you've been following us, we've been sitting down with a bunch of amazing, fantastic speakers from the Between the Waves Conference. And today I got a treat because the entirety of Words of Fang, the entirety of our DIY aesthetic stemmed from a sit down maybe 6 or 7 years ago with this man, Martin Atkins. So you know, you are the father of this whole idea. You are a titan of the DIY band sort of ethos.
Wow.
And it's absolutely incredible to be sitting down with you once again. Can you let people know, for the people who are not familiar with you or what you do, give them your background.
Okay, and I remember that day. I remember that day very well.
Yeah.
Actually, in the break room.
Yeah.
At Madison Media Institute. So I started playing drums when I was 9 years old. I joined my first band when I was 11. I was playing 7 shows a week and Sunday afternoons backing strippers. So I got my chops very early. I joined a band with Johnny Rotten from the Sex Pistols in 1979. It's called Public Image Limited. Spent 5 years with Pill, co-writing, co-producing, touring the world. It changed my idea, basic idea of what success actually was, because we were, in all traditional terms, very successful. Mm-hmm. Top 4 single all around the world, Australia, Japan, Europe. But it was not great for me. I didn't enjoy it at all. I bounced into a band called Killing Joke from the UK, who still exists. I started to manage Killing Joke. I started my own label called Invisible. We released 350 albums. I had my own studio because I had the label. It made sense. I had my own merchandise company because I had the label. It made sense. Mm-hmm. I had started my own band called Pigface with about 550 members, worked with 9 Inch Nails, and I had like a whole video. I have a Grammy for my work on a track called Wish. Started teaching maybe 17, 18 years ago. I wrote a book about touring because there wasn't one, which led to some very interesting opportunities, speaking around the world. Just finished my 3rd book. I'm working on my 4th. I'm the music industry coordinator at Millikan University in Decatur, Illinois. I've got 4 kids. I live in Chicago.
I already know the answer to this, but
okay. Oh well then. We're done.
I already know what your answer is going to be, but I have some people have told me that now is the worst time to be a musician, and some people have told me that now is the best time to be a musician. What's your take on that?
It's the best time.
And why?
Well, because all of these possibilities are open to you. You could research through the internet. There are no simple solutions, right? You can't just press a button and like 1 million people know about your music, because they don't know. It might just go like that, right? That's not them knowing. But more and more people are trying to press a button and succeed and failing. More and more people are less and less used to human interaction. Mm-hmm. So if you look, just as at any time in any business, if you look at what's happening and what isn't happening, there are things that you can do to enhance your position within the world. Amanda Palmer, who's tremendously successful now, at one point she was looking at everything that was and jumped onto Twitter and made $19,000 in a weekend. But more importantly, perhaps, got a story in the New York Times about, oh my God, this groundbreaking artist, but boom. And then she does, then she did 1.2 million with Kickstarter. Yeah. And now she's very active with Patreon, So you don't see Amanda Palmer go, Twitter, hey, Kickstarter, you go to the next thing, There are some constants. but things are always changing. And that's Heraclitus. The only constant thing is change. Mm-hmm. So if you're not changing as an artist or as an entrepreneur, if you're doing the same thing, yeah, you're fucked. You know?
Yeah.
But there's opportunity. There are more and more events like BTW everywhere. You can find people. What is strange, what hasn't changed over the last decade is I would expect to see 1,000 artists at an event like this.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I sat and listened to Michael Bodeker yesterday for 2 hours and was transfixed by the guy's knowledge, his insight, and the combination of technical expertise with a vocabulary and a sheer delight at music and its ability to energize us still. Like, I can't think of any artist who wouldn't have been inspired to sit in that room.
Yeah.
And it was well attended, but people should be banging down the doors.
Should have had a line out going out the street.
Yeah, and so I don't know what that is, and I welcome, speaking not as a participant in BTW, mm-hmm. but just as a person in the world, I welcome the fact that some artists don't get it, and they're trying to succeed in 1980, you know, and my books can help, you know, but as you saw at the end there, what I said to everybody is, look, if you think you need my book and you don't have the money, take it. I'd rather help you than not help you.
Right.
And so it's not that I'm delighted that there's a market for my books, because I destroyed that market myself. But there is opportunity for anybody who wants to learn all of the things you need to do. As you've done, you can execute on this stuff. Mm-hmm. And I'm selling tickets right now. We started 9 months ahead of our November tour. And I'm responding to anybody like, wow, are you coming to Cleveland? I'm like, yeah, we're coming to Cleveland. Here's the link. Mm-hmm. I'm spoon feeding ticket by ticket by ticket, creating my own success in November. And you could do it, but it's 28 hours a day, 9 days a week.
Right.
And it will be, if you get the kind of success that you're dreaming about anyway, the Beatles at Shea Stadium, and it's crazy now, limos being followed, lose them, the fans are following us. It's going to be crazy anyway. So understand that and get used to that time suck of 24/7 lifestyle, mm-hmm. Because that's what you'll need to be used to that if you do succeed.
Changing directions to like the live show, you know, I know you've seen played a lot, you've seen a lot of bands, and I mean you've helped a lot of bands. Is there something that you see younger bands doing typically at a live show that maybe you think of as a no-no, incorrect, or maybe to put it a different way, is there something that younger bands could be doing at their live show to sort of elevate the performance?
Well, there's so many things.
Yeah.
But it all goes back to one thing: realize that nobody gives a shit about you. And if anybody is in a room, instead of being like, wow, there's 50 people, mm-hmm. you better be worried that they're not going to stay for 10 more minutes. Mm. Because nowadays when people just like, we're done, they'll just leave. Mm-hmm. No one's going to say, well, we'll stay till the end. People just leave. And if you're not continually engaging with people through your music or whatever, then you're potentially losing them. And it's such a delicate thing. It's so difficult to get anybody to leave their couch, their Netflix, whatever. If you do it, you better honor that. Mm. And it's so many simple things. Like I don't know where I was, 5 bands on a bill, and I'm like, oh my God, they're all using different drum kits. So now we've got 10 o'clock at night, bang, bang, bang. Like, don't sound check a fucking drum kit. I'll just leave. Mm-hmm. And just understand how horrible that is. Somebody who's time crunched, to listen to you check your drums and go, skip blah, 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 do all your bits. Share a kit. Work this out at 4 p.m. on your time. Don't pollute my evening. and that also makes it from a 2.5-hour event with 4 bands to a 5-hour event.
Right.
You know, nobody care. I don't care what your snare drum sounds like. I'm vaguely interested in the songs, and I'm here to support up to a point. But don't think I'm going to be here for 6 hours, because I'm not. And so, I think if you start to get it, you know, if you start to realize that you're not great, that there's a better guitarist, there's a better singer, there's a better band down the street probably, then what else? How can I make this great for the audience? How can I make? Or if you don't know how to make it great, I guarantee you know how to make it less shit. Right?
Yeah.
You know. So, do you need to play for 50 minutes? Will people get the? You know, is everybody here just to see you, or are they here to see all of the bands?
Right.
You know, and there's a whole chapter in Band Smart about how to make your show an event. There's just a list of 30 different things you can do, like make things interesting for the audience. Give them a finger hold to grip onto to start to enjoy what you're doing.
If a band came up to you and said, all right, Martin, we are ready to quit our jobs, burn down our house, sell our furniture, put our girlfriends on Craigslist, we're gonna hit the road, we're gonna live out of our cars, you know, what's the reaction? What's the first thing you say to them?
Well, I mean, so I think I would say, great. I might in a lawyerly way.
Yeah.
So you're prepared to make these sacrifices. Are you prepared to make any sacrifices? Yes. Okay. Well, what I need you to do for the next 6 months is I need everybody to get a second job. What? I mean, I actually did this with a band from the West Coast. They were all about rehearsing. I'm like, why are you rehearsing 4 times a week? They needed their own rehearsal space. I'm like, why can't you share a space? Well, we've got to rehearse. I'm like, why? No one's coming to see you play anyway. You know, so no one's going to go, oh, the guitars are off tonight, because I guess they're just way off anyway. I'm like, what if half of the members of there's 6 of them, what if 3 of you got a second job that was minimum wage for 10 hours a week? I'm like, and what if you shared your rehearsal space? And they ended up, there was $14,000 in the bank account after 6 months. I'm like, now, what can we do with that? Okay, well, we can do vinyl. We can create a merchandise range that when you do play to 100 people, you're selling $500 worth of stuff instead of 8 people buying the one t-shirt design. So we're building the blocks of success, and now we can get into this. So, and if you look at that, and of course, people hate hearing that. You know, I just told 2 students today, like, yeah, I don't know if I want to do this or I want to do that. I'm like, well, you need to be doing 10 things. You need 10 skills, because 2 of them will be worthless immediately, you know, and then you'll find that you need to have 2 skills that you're reluctantly involved with, because those will surprise you. Oh my God, I'm making 5 times the money in half the time over here. And I just met this person, who can help me with this other thing that's important. You need 8 to 10 hustles just to make a go of it. So that's my advice. To bands. It's like, don't give up your day job. I worked as an apprentice electrical engineer, management trainee, and I would go in and fall asleep at my job. And I was called into the personnel office to have a reprimand for falling asleep, and I fell asleep while I was being reprimanded, because I was gigging every night and Sunday afternoons. I mean, you've got to, but you know, I mean, I was just blowing all my money on beer and whatever back then. But you know, if keeping on going into the day job gets you 6 more months of employment, you know, that's there for when a real opportunity occurs. And I don't mean, well, not necessarily buying on to a larger show, or you know, paying for some interesting merchandise, or traveling somewhere, or making your situation materially better. Maybe it's a more reliable vehicle. You know, something you have options when you've got money. If you don't have any money, you're going to eat your easy prey for people selling you a bullshit dream.
So as you know, as let's say the godfather of DIY band aesthetic, right?
I'll take that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there something that you think every band should DIY at least once to try it?
I've got to say everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was talking about this last week with physical distribution, which is now a thing again. I remember I would go through the returns for my label, and I'd open up a box, and they'd be mislabeled and whatever. But I'd pull out these CDs, and here's a CD, Tower Records Tokyo, and the price is in yen.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'd see like another price sticker. They put it on sale because they want to sell this American disc, And then of course it doesn't sell, and it gets put in a box and shipped back to me, and I'm paying for the shipping, and I'm paying for the refurbing, new shrink wrap, right? Here's another album from the same band, and it's in Cleveland, or it's a tiny mom and pop store, and it's got a little review from and just rolling up your sleeves and being involved in that aspect. You can't put the effort at the front end before you see the end result. And to see like all of your music has been all over the world. What were you doing 6 months ago? Mm-hmm. Were you watching a movie? Because your fucking CDs were in Tokyo, motherfucker. And now they're back here. And nobody in Tokyo is going to, send those to me again. Let's give it another try. That was your shot. Yeah. And you just blew it. Were there CDs in a store down the street? And it's just the same idea of like, you better pay attention to all of this stuff. And I think anything that you do gives you an appreciation of what's involved. Like promote a show, right? I think if you promote a show, it will change how you are the next time you're a band at somebody else's show. Because you'll be sitting there, well, I haven't heard from two of the artists. Like, I've been putting up posters all over town. These motherfuckers haven't even done a Facebook post. Mm-hmm. Blah, blah, blah. Oh God, that was me. Last Halloween, I didn't do right? Once you're the promoter, you see the other side of it. And you could be a better band once you've been a promoter. Mm-hmm. And I think that applies to everything. Release your own music, because you'd be like, oh shit, whoa, and you get your music into a store in Tokyo, mm-hmm. And get on the phone or email somebody. We've got to, oh God, scream at somebody, and halfway through those words coming out of your mouth, you'll be like, I should be screaming at myself, So I would say do everything. But I like the promoting a gig idea. Okay. I think that's good. Go and be a fan at somebody's show. Be mistreated by a larger band as a fan, and you'll never mistreat anybody again.
Do you find that there are sort of vestiges of the quote unquote old industry that are still really important in today's world, or is it, can a band make it without any of those?
A band can. Make it. I think a band has to. That's how you get the right label. It's how you get the right manager. I think that there are people like myself who I can look at a situation and go, oh, here's these 5 things that you need to pay attention to immediately, and this is where this is going off the rails. I can call people out on their entrenched fantasy crap, mm-hmm. And there's plenty of that. But that can be quite unpopular. Artists like to pursue their dreams, and their dreams exist from places I don't know, sitting on the carpet, watching bands reading about exploits, which may or may not be true in magazines or online. People develop their own dreams in their own way. So it's difficult and sometimes dangerous to dissuade them of those dreams. But I think you have to pursue them on your own. There are people who will help, but there are increasingly more and more people who will help you do anything you want if you pay them. And that's dangerous.
Well, Martin, thank you so much. I don't want to take up any more of your time. Before we wrap up here, can you tell everybody where to find your books, where to find when you're on tour? Give us all the links.
Well, you can follow me on Twitter, MarTeeeen, 4 E's, just like the old days. My Big Cartel, Martin Atkins Big Cartel, has all the tickets for the tour with our VIP packages, coupons for merchandise, limited edition vinyl, all kinds of stuff is happening through there. MartinAtkins.com is under construction. I just bought that. So I'm trying to get all that stuff moved over there. My books, all that stuff, it's on the Martin Atkins Big Cartel as well.
Awesome. Well, everybody, thank you for watching. If you like this video series, the entirety of the Words of Fang video series, you can thank this guy for kicking me in the butt to actually start it, to actually think about doing DIY stuff. Not just this series, but all of our videos, all of our merchandise, printing our own shirts. He was the one who told me to do it, and it's been amazing so far. If you want to see the entire uncut, uncensored interview with Martin Atkins, all the swear words, go to patreon.com/Lords of the Trident. Just pledge $1. You'll get not only the entire uncut interview with Martin, but all of the uncut interviews from everybody that we've interviewed this entire weekend, which I think so far is like 15 or 16. So it's a great deal for everybody out there. Patreon.com/Lords of the Trident. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. We'll be back with more speakers, with more fun. Thanks for tuning in.